John here. Here's lick of the day number 164. This is an alternate into sweep picking shred run. As usual, I'm going to play it once slowly and then break it down. During the breakdown, I'm going to share some practice advice you can use for this one and pretty much anything else you're practicing. If you want the tabs, you have a link down in the description below. I'm going to start here on the 17th fret of the high E string. Alright, so this one is built on the F-sharp Aeolian scale, which is the same thing as the F-sharp minor scale. Just a regular standard minor scale, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. And we start here with this Yngwie type sequence. And starting on 17, and we have 17, 19, 21. And the sequence with these three notes, if you number them from left to right, 1, 2, 3, it's going to be 1, 3, 2, 1. And we shift down to the next set of three notes. So it's actually only this note is new. And same sequence. Shift down again. Now this note is the only new one. Start this with a downstroke. So 1, 2, 3. From here we're going to go down a group of 6, so that's going to be 17, 15, 14 on the B string, 16, 14, 13 on the G string, and then we'll shift down to the root here on 11. And then from here we're going to use this shape and do the same 4-note sequence again. So then we're going to descend. So basically from this point it's the same kind of deal. It's exactly the same notes in 2 octaves. The only difference here is that we have to compensate for the B string, so we get this shift that we need to do there, but when you do it down here, you can keep it in the same position. And then we end up here on the root note. And from here, we're going to play this arpeggio sequence. So what I'm doing here, I'm playing an F-sharp minor 7 arpeggio into an A major 7 arpeggio. But again, this is played over, we're in the key of F-sharp minor, so that's how you're going to hear it anyway. And that's how I've written it out in the tabs as well. So this sequence then goes like this. First of all, the arpeggio is going to be 9, 12, on the A string, 11 on the D string, 9 on the G, 10 on B, and then 9, 12 on the high E string, and you just go up, down, hammer, down, 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 up, pull off. And we shift up to 16, and the shape here is going to be 16, 12 on the E string, 14 on B, 13 on G, 14 on D, 16 and 12 on the A string. So go back up again, and then we slide up to A here. So just a half note slide, and then we're done. For us practicing this one, you need to be comfortable with the single string sequence, and you also need to be comfortable with this one. And the arpeggios, obviously. But I would divide it like that. So working on the single string sequence, a good thing to do here could be to just take the first 3, but then go back to the one you came from. So you get sort of this repeating exercise. And then, you guessed it, you can move it down or up a half step. And do that all over the fretboard, and ideally you do it on all strings as well. So that's how you can work on the actual single string thing. And then this one, I would actually just move it up and down the fretboard play it once or twice in each position. So you basically start as low as you can. I'm not going to demonstrate that, you can figure that out. And then move it up and down in half steps. So basically do it once here, or twice, and then move it up, and so on. And then you do the same thing from the last octave here. So you get the idea. For the sweeping, you can take each shape individually and just go basically that far, and then you take the next one. Actually, this one I would go start from the top. So you get used to that sliding thing, and even going, you know, starting a few notes before the slide, because this slide thing can be kind of hard to do in time if you're not used to it. So that's worth working on specifically, and especially moving it around the fretboard, because then you really need to work on your timing, because it's going to be a different distance depending on where you're at on the fretboard. So that could really help you out when it comes to this sliding timing. And after that, just put it together and see, you know, how it feels. And wherever you find any trouble spots, you just work more on that. And if you find that you're way off the tempo here, the tempo isn't that bad actually. It's 16 versus 160, so it's not crazy fast. But I wouldn't worry about that really. Just, you know, it's played over this backing track, and that's why it's this tempo. And I came up with it by, you know, just playing around over this backing track. And these backing tracks are great, by the way. I'm always going to link whatever backing track I use in the description below. So go check Tim's channel out. But as with any of these licks that I have, it's not about the licks themselves necessarily, the exact tempo. It's more about getting ideas that you can apply to your own playing, and also just having something fun to practice. So and if you apply these practice techniques that I show you, you will definitely improve your technique at the same time as you learn something that you hopefully enjoy. So that's the whole idea behind this series. Don't forget to check out my guitar gym. You now get a free 7-day trial. And yeah, I hope you like this one. If you have any questions, just post them below. Otherwise, good luck and see you in the next one.